Hi everybody, I'm William Michael Forbes.
And I'm Norma Jones.
And tonight we're going to do the live presentation on a subject we're calling Channeling Behind Closed Doors.
Yes.
Which has been a very exciting topic.
Yeah. So basically what it is about is what happens behind our closed doors. So for an example, we have a water distiller and it makes a lot of noise. And it just went off. And William says, yeah, they told me that it was going to go off just in time.
Yeah, I'm always concerned because oftentimes it'll run longer than I expect it to. They said, no, you turn, by they, I mean they, these beings that talk to me quite regularly, said, no, turn it on, it'll be fine, it'll stop. As soon as we literally pushed play, it stopped.
So yeah, so just prior to this, William, and it's, see, did you hear the beep?
Yeah.
It's the final.
Yeah, I was setting up, I was actually just beginning to get things set up so that we could do this tonight. And as I'm walking around, my voice says, get everything ready, Bill. And I went, Bill? I haven't heard myself, nobody's called me Bill in years. I went, who was that? Who was that? And it turned out to be an old mentor of mine named Bill Curry. Who came in and said, you got to make certain you're properly prepared for things. It's really cool.
Okay. So this subject is about, you know, what goes on in our life, in our daily life, when we're just hanging out and we have these things. We have, does Bill want to say anything else right now?
He's just saying, if you're really smart, you'll learn to connect to spirit, because spirit knows everything that you don't know. And so you want to connect to it. Take the time to connect to the spirit within you. It is all powerful. I love Bill. He was a mentor of mine for 10 years. I actually lived on an island with him, and we ran a group home for young offenders. It was pretty fascinating. But he came through tonight. It was really nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, so this is essentially what it's about. It's about our life and how things just come to us. Like the other day, we had William's dad who visited us, and William was sitting there and he was like, man, do I feel like a beer? And William doesn't drink. And I was like, oh. And he's like, hang on a second, that's not me.
Yeah, it's not me. Why am I feeling like a beer right now? And she said, well, who is it? And I went, I felt, and all of a sudden, my dad, who passed away from cancer a couple years ago, was right there in my face, like right in there. And he said, it's me. And he goes, oh, and he was so happy. He was actually happy to be recognized, which blew me away. And then I asked him, what are you here for? He says, I really wish I had a beer. And he repeated it. And as he starts, as I'm asking, what are you here for? Suddenly JC comes in.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ comes in and starts to explain to me why my dad's here and what he's coming back for and where he's going to live, and it's just amazing.
And it was amazing that, you know, he was able, his dad, to resolve something because he had the ability to become aware of it through William.
Yep.
And then there was also another time when my aunt Hazel, Helen, who I've never met, came in.
Yeah, I was standing in the kitchen and suddenly this feeling came over me, and everybody naturally does this, but this feeling came over me and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I don't know what was said. I said, there's a weird feeling of female, and I think she's here for you.
Yeah.
And she said, well, who is she? And I stopped and listened, because sometimes I have to listen very carefully to hear, because sometimes there's like static or my own thoughts get in the way or my own feelings are in the way, and I have to actually stop and put them aside and listen. And when I do that, I get this name, Helen. I said, it's Helen. And she goes, I don't know Helen.
And then my dad confirmed it,
yeah.
that, yeah, she was my mom's great aunt, and that she spoke completely about my whole family system and about my parents.
Wow.
And it, like, the interesting thing there is that there were things that were on my mind that I needed to make sense of or to resolve. And each and every time these things happen, they don't happen randomly. they happen with reason.
And in relationship to what's going on.
And of course, in relationship to what questions you're asking, and then they were answered. And I realized, like, one of the aspects of this talk is that happened to us all my life, that things would be answered, but not in the same realm, not to the same extent, not to the same clarity, where you could, like, literally sit and chat with, having a conversation. It was more of an impression or a feeling or knowing or a gut feeling or a hunch or I really shouldn't, or and so again it comes back to you know, we are always being guided, we're always being directed, you know, source, our guardian angels, however, whomever, whatever, our own higher selves are always there. They're always communicating to us. They're always telling us, all you need to do is ask. And, you know, for me, I have this thing where, you know, I've always had a knowing, and I could always, if you want to know something, I can tell you. But I feel like the clarity, oftentimes I will sit and I will ask a question, and I can get like a book in a response as well. But I feel like the clarity is not exactly the same yet as it is with William. So I sometimes, you know, even question my own self. Is this what I'm thinking?
Well, I don't know. At that time, you were grounding out in the park there. You were grounding out there, and I walked you through that grounding exercise. I walked her through a grounding exercise where I got her to connect to the center of the earth, the plasma core that's there, the soul of the earth, if you like, and the soul of the sun, the central part of the sun, and to bring those energies into her body. And as she did, her body started swaying. Right? Remember that?
Yeah, of course.
And
yeah, many a times, absolutely, there's very definite clarity of knowing. And that was Mother Earth.
yeah.
Speaking with Mother Earth and being able to communicate with other spirits and so on, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the key thing here is that we all have that awareness within us, and it's essentially just about developing it.
Yes.
And you know, wherever one is at, that's the right place to be, and to just trust and to listen, most importantly.
Mm-hmm.
But the more one listens and the more one trusts, the more one does develop that ability.
But it's also about learning to know what not to listen to.
Okay.
You know, like for me, I've had to learn to not listen to a lot of the thoughts that go in my mind about what I think things mean, or what I believe it might be based on what I think I know. And I've actually learned when my brain starts to analyze something that's outside of what I normally know now. Before, what I used to do, I start analyzing this thing that in my mind, and the analysis would actually stop me from perceiving what was there. But the minute I drop the analysis and start to feel, I began to get actual impressions and communications and images, and I can actually see these beings. So it's also learning about how to not listen to certain things in your mind, how to shut it off, how to get your body out of the way, because the body will react to, you know, our bodies have a life of its own, and it'll react to these non-physical beings. You know, suddenly someone starts talking in your head, and I've been in the shower sometimes, and they start giving me ideas, and my body will get startled for a moment, because it's still instinctual, right? You have to also train your body to not react to things that are unfamiliar to it, so that it knows it's safe with you all the time. So I've learned to get my body out of my way, I've learned to get my mind out of the way, and everybody can learn to do this, and everybody naturally does it anyway. It's a matter of how refined do you want to make your skill? How much would it mean to you to be able to talk directly to spirit and get a solution to every problem, or to be literally guided? And I've literally felt myself being pushed or poked or prodded in directions, or stub my toe to go into a different, you know, things will happen when you are open to guidance. I don't recommend the toe stubbing. Just learn to listen. It's much easier.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, that often is the case, where people will have something occur, let's just make it a sickness like a cold or something, that will stop them from continuing to do what they listen to themselves. And so within ourselves, we always have that voice speaking to us, you know, relax, you know, take a break.
Yeah, there's an actual measurable process that anybody can go through and learn to connect to spirit. Learn to connect to beings that are non-physical. You know, we got this technology here, this cell phone here, and it's going to let me talk to a being that's not even in this room. Now, this body is an instrument. It's a transmitting and receiving station. And if I know how to use it, like I know how to use this cell phone, I can tune into other frequencies of beings, which is what we've learned to do, and what everybody naturally does automatically. But most people aren't conscious of that fact, or we get caught up in what we think we know.
Exactly. So we are here also to tell you about a course that we are doing. It's a channeling course that to help you tune into your own innate ability, which we all are able to do, and to help develop it.
And to practice. The biggest thing is what this course we designed is specifically for those who are truly interested in getting outside of the old paradigm of living and not being so stuck in the mud of the reality that you're stuck in, but to be free to pursue your dreams and your goals the way you are naturally wired to do that. And there's a process for that. There's a process for getting out of your own way and getting the guidance to show you what you can do differently than you've been doing. And it's a lot of fun.
And one of the ways is going within, finding your own inner truth, not following the truth of something that's being told to you, but following the truth that's within you.
And it's not all serious. It can be pretty funny sometimes. We had a communication from Jesus, and he said, "Don't get too serious." You know, and instead he made a play on that Miller commercial, the Miller beer commercial. And it's Jesus time instead of Miller time.
Yeah.
Right? So they can really be quite funny, and they'll come in the shower and they'll go, "I'm peeking at you," right? So it's a lot of fun as you get to open up your reality to these other things, and it's not difficult. And the course we've designed it in such a way that you get to work with other people that are on that same path, that same process, and using similar tools and resources to actually develop the internal mechanism that allows you to see and hear differently than what you're used to. And it's that shift in the internal perception that allows you to perceive things differently. And I cannot tell you how rewarding it has been, how much our lives has changed as a result of knowing and being able to communicate to spirit and to other beings like Buddha and Jesus or Odin or Freya, you know, or Madame Blavatsky. She's been coming up a lot, Madame Blavatsky, and she, I can feel her here right now. Madame Blavatsky was an ascended master in her time. And one of the things she's been saying to me, she said, "You must stay absolutely true to your truth. And your truth is knowing that which is in harmony with your joy. And if you understand your joy and you can feel it, you can live it. But if you do not feel your joy, you can't live it. So if you don't feel your joy, you must learn what your truth is. What is right? What is wrong for you? And then articulate that moral sense into actions. And those actions will give you joy because they're in alignment with your truth." And she's been repeating that message to me for days now, right? Coming through. She's just decided to let it come out now. It's amazing. You have so much within you. We all do. And, you know, during this time of ascension, it's really about unpackaging your joy and really being who we are.
We are not these limited beings that we perceive ourselves or we act as. We are truly unlimited beings. And until you start to explore that aspect of yourself, until you start to take away all of those limitations that you have taken on, you won't quite understand this, but the potential of our beings are just beyond anything we can ever imagine.
But it can also be everything that you can imagine.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it, is whatever you can imagine more.
Yes.
So yeah, you're absolutely right.
So are you.
We're all geniuses here, right? So really it's important you recognize that you are this phenomenal being of unlimited potential. I mean, in truth, when you hear the words, there's a part of you inside that goes, "Yes, I know that, but how do I get there?" And, you know, there's many different ways you can get there. There's many books and teachers and methodologies, but you've got to find the way that really resonates with you. we make it as easy as, I mean, this is by far one of the easiest programs I've ever been a part of, and been privileged to work with the masters coming through and instructing us on how to create it and design the architecture of it, so that anybody coming through the course who is willing to take the steps that are presented will definitely get a higher expansion of their consciousness and a deeper, more meaningful connection to spirit within them. Because there's no longer, this paradigm is not about trying to get what you want outside yourself. It's about discovering it within yourself. You might use mechanisms out there that help you to recognize what's already there, but it's up to you at that point to then unpackage that. And there's things you can think, there's things you can say, there's things you can do, like meditation. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do sensing energies, so whereby you sit and call in the energies, and feel how it feels within your body, outside your body.
And we do very specific meditations that are designed, guided meditations that are live, that are designed specifically to get you outside of the paradigm you might be stuck in and start to realize the whole realm of consciousness that's available to you. And our goal is to ensure that this program impacts as many people positively as possible, that everyone in the course gets a result that they know from their own experience is true for them. They can validate it from their own experience.
Yes.
They know that they know.
Yeah.
And that's really important, that you get to a place in your experience that you know what you're creating.
Yes, exactly.
There's just so much in this course. We were astounded to realize that like I said, when we work with our guides and our spiritual team, they are very diligent about how meticulous we are, how we lay things out. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times we've gone over the manual, and making certain that each piece is put in place specifically because they've told us this is what's going to happen when they do this. And we've been told very firmly to make certain we encourage anyone in the program to take the steps that are going to make you really reap the rewards of your own creative process. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well put.
Yeah.
So when is the course and so on?
Oh, the course starts this Saturday at 12 p.m. and it'll be starting on Facebook, private group. You can go to my webpage, which is williammichaelforbescoaching.com, and click on at the top bookings and courses, and you'll see the one-on-one course program there, and you can register and read all the details about the course, because there's so much to go into here about that. But
and that's Saturday, June 15th.
Saturday, June the 15th. So 2 days from now. 2 days from now. It's awesome. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we got a great body of students. We got some really great mediums in the course that some of whom you'll be introduced to for the first time and some of whom you may know. But that'll be a surprise. Yeah. And we've got literally at least 21 live events that are put in the schedule over the 21 days. So there's a live event virtually every day, and there'll be extras that they always do this to me. They always tell me to pop on and do something. So there'll be other things that they're guiding us to offer to you, and that's gonna be really cool. So it'll be 21 days of intensive learning in an environment where you don't miss anything. Because if you miss a live event, all of the events that happen in the course get saved and stored in the video section of the group wall, so you can go back and review particular lesson or a particular live event or a particular practice session, because the students in the program will be required to practice with each other, to practice channeling, to practice card reading, to practice mechanisms, tools that help them to unpackage and open up and increase the sensitivity of their intuition and their soul awareness, I'll say. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The lives, we always love the lives, and you learn how to deal with the technology, how to communicate with each other, and you make a bunch of really great friends in the process too. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and on each Saturday we're going to do like an orientation that will explain to you what we're going to be doing in that particular week, and then so we're really looking forward to it. I know I'm really looking forward to it.
This is the second time we've done something similar to this, but we've reorganized it differently. It is going to be amazing, and I'm really excited about who's going to be there and what you're going to experience, what we're all going to experience, because it's that time in human consciousness now. We are bursting at the seams. Humanity is is needs to break out of this mold of fear that we've been cast in for millennia. And the ascension process is literally about that breaking. There's many of us that are breaking out of that old human paradigm and connecting to spirit and source, and bringing through a whole new way of being, a whole new frequency of consciousness that's literally shaking the foundations of social, economic, and political structures on this planet, so that we become the enlightened society we were originally designed to be. Right? That's what they tell us we're doing.
that is, yeah, we're helping out.
Yeah. So we're part of the team, and you're part of the team too. And I hope that you'll come and join us. But we'll take some questions now. You can take some questions.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
Do you have your glasses?
Yeah, they're right there, baby. I can actually read without the glasses, but I made the light too bright.
Oh.
But they said bright light is good. Hi, Gerald. Good to see you, brother. Hi from Malta. Hi, Destiny. Hi, LeBrain. Hi, Philome. Hi, Shama. Look at all these wonderful. Hi, Leah. I'm sorry we couldn't say hi to everybody in the beginning. It's just the print is so small, and they wanted us to be hyper-focused and connected and make certain that we deliver the frequencies to you that we were here to deliver. And that is really the goal. A lot of the words that we say are just a carrier signal for a higher vibration that's penetrating into your soul, so that you can alter your frequency the way you need to.
They do say that to us over and over again.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like literally, the things that happen. And so
they're like, it doesn't really matter what you say.
Yeah.
It's really what
it's the message that's in
the
behind
message
it.
Which is the intention that we're coming from.
Yeah, Jesus told me the other day, he said, you just have to sit in love.
Yeah.
In any place where you sense there's pain, he says, you just have to sit in love and feel that love. Let it soak into the cells, let it radiate out from you. You just have to do that. You don't have to make it, you just have to feel it and feel it and feel it and feel it, and it'll radiate out, and it will begin to change and affect the people around you. It's the signal that you're broadcasting, and you can do it wordlessly or with words. We use all of those modalities because humanity needs all the help it can get right now, right? And it really does.
Which is really funny, because when we first met, you remember? When we first met, like...
Yeah, 10, 12 years ago?
10, 12 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. William used to do that. He would be, and I thought, this is interesting. Yeah. But we'd like sit at a restaurant, and he'd say, watch around me. Watch how everybody changes. And he'd like get this, he'd start laughing and get this feeling, and then people would walk by, and all of a sudden they'd start laughing, and he's like, look what I'm affecting. And I'm like, they're just laughing.
But now we know better, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it was right.
But to that point, what Norma said a little earlier about that we've all been doing this all of our lives. You, me, everyone on the planet is channeling, connecting to these guides, these beings, this spirit. We're all connected to it. We cannot be separate from it. If you were separate from it, your heart would stop to function, because it's what keeps your heart running, right? Spirit.
And not to mention, we are affecting that around us too.
Yes.
Whether we're aware of it or not.
Yes.
Like emoto. If you
messages
don't know what
the message
in the water, or the rice.
Water has
I
memory.
hate you, I love you. When we're walking around, whatever vibration we are sending out, we are affecting that around us.
And the difference is for us now is that we're at a place where we are consciously and deliberately engaging the full resources of our angelic teams, our guides, our angels, and spirit itself, my higher self, God. They're all with us now and with you. And when you're deliberately engaging them, it makes a huge difference, especially because when I was unconscious and I was angry and I was upset and I felt isolated and alone when I was really young, in that place I was still using the same spirit, but it got me into alcohol, it got me into drugs, it got me into a lot of pain and suffering, it got me into depression, because I was not aligned to emotional energies consciously. I was not deliberately aware that I could actually change what I was thinking in my head, that I could deliberately change what I was feeling, that I could alter my body state and therefore change the way the energy was moving through me, and therefore what I was going to express and would change the conditions in my life, which I now know. I express very differently now, and the conditions in my life are 180 degrees away from where they used to be. And the difference is in recognizing that you have that conscious power at any moment to direct spirit with every thought, with every focus, with every feeling. You're directing this energy to show up for you, and it is right now.
Well, you were actually in line with when you say that you weren't. You were. That's why you were attracting that
Yes.
that you had.
Yes.
And whether you're conscious of the fact or not, you still are doing so.
Yes. That's
But
absolutely correct.
to be the more conscious one is, the more one recognizes when you have a thought that doesn't support you, when you're doing things, actions that are not supporting you, you're bringing that into your home. Do you want it?
Or you're bringing it into your workplace, or you're bringing it into
Well,
your
into
relationship.
into your home, into
Yeah.
your life, into your
Yeah.
experience is what I really mean to say.
Gotcha.
So, you know, to all extent and to any extent.
Mm-hmm. It becomes a journey of not just empowering yourself, but empowering everybody that you come in contact with. You know,
Yeah.
that you pass that stranger on the street, and you're in a vibration of love, and you see that person. I'm walked by this lady today, and she's sitting in front of this statue of Jesus that's kneeled over on the street out by the building here, and she's there, and I can see her praying. I'm going, wow, she's praying. Bless her, right? And you walk by people differently. You emanate differently. You affect things differently, and you make a difference consciously.
Because you see things differently.
Yes, and you choose to.
Yes.
You choose to.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's a good point. Everybody, whether they're conscious or not, is using the same spirit. And I mean, the old law, the biblical law says, "Ask and you shall receive." But just know what you're asking for, because you're going to receive it, good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't judge. The spirit does not judge what it's going to give you. It just gives you what you've asked for. And so it's important to really learn how to change that. In the course, we really get into how to differentiate between your thoughts and emotions, and how to get everything out of the way.
And the joy as well of being connected more is recognizing there is really no duality. There is source, you know, it is our innate way of being, because it is what we are. When we die, you know, we reunite. So the more we recognize what we really are, right? The more we connect to source, the more we recognize what we are.
Wow, she's just giving me goosebumps all over.
and then the more, you know, we it alters how we perceive the world, how we perceive others, how we perceive ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And the world, as a result, becomes a better place.
That's right.
But there's you know, when we talk about the ascension process, we're also talking about vibration. You know,
exactly.
Raising your vibration, lifting your consciousness frequency up. And you hear many groups talk about this. Mind Valley community is very big in raising vibration. I know Tony Robbins is about raising big energy.
Yeah.
Many of these beings are about raising it up. And raising vibration is done in a number of different ways too. And we get into that in detail, like
for sure.
what you eat, what you drink, how you eat, how you drink. What you put in your body can alter and affect tremendously what your vibrational frequency, how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your physicality, your sleep.
Yeah, your sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And whether or not you're smiling or not, right? But let's take some questions. We were at that point.
That sounds good.
But we just love being able to transmit information to you. Hi, Philome. Okay, so we're gonna. If you got any questions or concerns, hi, Michelle. Oh, thank you, Shama. Philome's got a question here. Do people have to be awakened as a prerequisite to taking the course?
Dun, dun, dun.
Absolutely not. But they would have to have a desire to have a better life at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To feel in themselves something.
The course itself could be something that could awaken them.
Yeah.
You know, I think that if someone is being pulled towards the course, is being pulled towards wanting to know more, wanting to understand more, their own experiences, those gut feelings, or to interpret them better, and to connect more with their source, whether maybe it's past loved ones or anything of that nature. If they're being pulled towards this, if they're being attracted towards it, then I think it's the way to follow, and that in itself may help them to awaken.
That triggers to me a really important, another important thing to bring up is your conceptions about life and death are completely changed. You realize there is no such thing as death.
No.
Because has been, having my dad come to me and Bill Curry come to me and your Aunt Helen and your mom. That was fun when her mom came to me. It was the funniest thing. Maybe we'll tell you about that sometime. But you start to realize that there is no death. And when you realize that there is no death, that it's just a matter of changing your frequencies of perception that allow you can talk to your great-granddad or your grandma or your grandmother or your sister, your brother or your daughter, whoever it is you think you need to have, not closure, a connection with, to know that they have just gone on a different path for now. They're not gone from life, they're just gone from this physical dimension. But when you deliberately and consciously can connect to them and hear from them that, hey, I'm totally good here, things are fine, it completely changes how you can live your life here. And I've worked with people that are dealing with bereavement and stuff, and when they come to an awareness, a real knowing that that individual they called their aunt or their uncle, their mother, that they aren't dead, when they actually feel that and experience the reality that they don't have pain and sadness or guilt and shame anymore. They understand that that individual's just gone on a different journey. And that's really important. I think anybody who's really into the work, really gets deeply into it, will come to that understanding through this particular course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really burning up here.
You got something coming in?
Yeah, it feels like.
Yeah, and
like Callie or someone. I'm hearing Callie.
Want to let them say what they have to say?
Well, you continue saying what you were saying.
So right now she's feeling this energy coming into her. It's a form of hot energies, and it's a symptom of a consciousness that she recognizes is trying to get her attention. And you learn this in the course where you actually learn to identify symptoms of when these beings are trying to reach you. And so my question to her, and the question we ask students in class when they get these sensations, is, what does it feel like? Who is this?
It feels like a real burning sensation on my face. She's been coming in for a while, and I keep getting the impression of, or hearing Callie.
You gonna let her through? So anyway, she's allowing this energy because they don't just walk into you. They don't have a right to just step into your body. You have the right. You have total dominion over your form. You can invite them, and you can ask them to leave, and they'll honor that. They treasure the idea that this is a free will zone. So right now she's just weighing, do I want to allow this communication now? And when she's ready, she'll let us know, one way or the other. But you learn to sense their presence. The presence of Jesus is like this liquid warmth around my heart. And Archangel Michael is like this energy that comes from behind me. And Metatron is very pushy. And these different beings, my father, well, he communicated me through the sensation, the excitement of beer, right? Which was completely unexpected, but treasured nonetheless. So you learn to become sensitive to these beings, their energies, and how they show up for you. Because how Callie shows up for Norma Jean might be different for the way that Callie would show up for me. And how Jesus shows up for me might be different than shows up for you. And you learn to identify those differences for you so that you get to know your relationship with them, because it literally is like having a relationship with other beings, much the same way as we have relationships here with each other. You can have relationships with these non-physical beings. It's just not a physical relationship, but it is definitely a relationship that you can measure, experience, weigh, and feel. And it's really remarkable. It's a bliss to experience when you realize you're not bound by time and space alone. Hi. Do you have Callie here?
Yes. Oh, I was just hearing that we are here with you, with all of you, to support you in your growth in any way. We encourage you to follow your heart, to follow the things that bring you the greatest joys, the breaths that is there.
This is another thing that you learn too, that sometimes you will question the vibration you're getting, and you can actually hold the flow back, because again, you have the right to decide what you want to allow or not allow. They will not force themselves through you. High vibrational beings do not use their will over you. They use their will in harmony with your permission. Whereas lower vibrational energies won't do that. They'll try to force themselves on you. Do you have anything else to say?
Just that it is important that you seek to find the truth that is within all of you, the truth that you know without question, that is within your heart, that leads you to your joy.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. And like real people, we treat them like real people. That's who they are. And we respect them, and we appreciate every communication with them. Much the same as you wouldn't leave, a party without saying goodbye, or go into a place without saying hello. It's the same thing. We treat they treat us, and we treat them with the same level of respect, and you learn to do that too. Yes, Philomene, she's very powerful. Hi, Robert. So I'm not seeing any questions. Oh, yes, we got the one from Philomene. That was a beautiful question, Philomene. Thank you so much. But our goal, channeling behind closed doors for us, was really understanding that for us, these things happen all the time, and they happen all the time with everybody. And we're at a point in our development as a species that we've got to stop channeling behind closed doors. We've got to open the doors and let the information come out to everybody. The information is available to the mortal man. Okay. Right? And
Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I am. And it really is that time that we bring this information to all humanity. That is the time to restore joy as the driving force behind all human activities, to restore love behind the conduct of every human being in its respect towards all life forms here. And this is the time. And I'm very grateful that I get to walk this journey with you in form.
Oh, thank you.
And that I have all of you too to join us on this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I very much look forward to the continued journey. What channeling has brought to us, and what it continues to bring to us.
And what can bring to you.
And what it can bring to you. When I use the reference of us, the reason why I was is because we're no different from anyone. And, there's been such growth and change. We've been together for 10 years, and within the last year, the amount of change and on a soul love level, how it has affected our relationship.
Wow.
And the possibilities that we see just to fulfill our hearts and to fulfill others, to allow them to do the same, just goes.
It's been amazing.
Is amazing, and so we want what we're experiencing for everybody else, and so we just want to share. We want to show everybody what we're experiencing.
Now, I just want to say too that because this is a video we're going to put up on my YouTube channel when we're finished here, and so I'm going to say that for YouTube viewers that are seeing this now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with other people. This information is targeted for humanity as a whole, and it's not exclusive to anybody or any group or any organization. This is universal knowledge, which means it's for all. And to that end, we are doing these courses and classes. What have we got here? Oh, we got another question. Why is it so important for humanity to remember this skill of channeling now, regardless of where we come from, country, religion, etc.? Your ability to develop and recall your connection to Source, to Spirit, to your guides, is really important, because when you can get a higher perspective on how to deal with any situation, you don't have to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. You can transition through life in a much more joyful and happy fashion. We weren't put here to suffer. You came here to express your bliss, be in joy, to be enthused by the nature of your being, And your connection to all that is, to all of us, enables you to be as you intended. It is for the joy of being. It is for the joy of your being.
Who was that?
Who was that? And this is another fascinating thing, is they'll speak through you, and you're saying things, and you're going, I mean, I used to think I was really smart, right? You know, I'd write these amazing things, and now that I'm realizing a lot of this information has sources, and as you get clearer and become more allowing. But who was that, to answer your question? John. That's my guardian angel, John. And John is the gentleman angel that spoke to me on a bridge many, many years ago and convinced me in a very stern but loving tone of voice to not jump from the bridge. And that was a Kodak moment in my life.
John also at that time gave William a phone number to call, and William called the phone number, and the person on the other end picked up, and then
gave me the help that
him the help he
that I
needed
at that time.
So I guess John had the insight.
Yeah. Well, no, he not only gave me the phone number, but he also gave me the name of the person, and just told me this person will help you. And I remember picking up the phone because I figured if this voice was lying to me, I'll just hang up the phone and go back on a jump, right? And no, I picked up the phone and called it, and the voice came on the phone, and I said, "Is this?" And they said, "Yes, it is." And I just burst into tears and just blithered up my whole sorrows to this person. They said, just come and live with me, and you can stay with my family. I'll give you a job and turn my life in a whole new direction. So be open to the unexpected, magical things that can happen in your life, because you are not alone ever, ever, ever. Mm-hmm. And when you start to realize that, you won't just look inside your own mind to try and solve a problem that you can't solve from within your own mind, but you start just asking and listen. Is there another way I can do this? Is there somewhere else I can go? Is there someone else I can connect to? Is there something else I can think of? Is it, and once you start asking those types of questions and listen carefully, you will start to hear answers. It might be an inclination to walk down the street and sit in a restaurant. It might be pick up the phone and call so and so. I don't know what it'll be for you, but I know for me that now whenever I ask a question, I always have an answer. And what's really fascinating is when people ask me questions, I always have an answer.
Well, the thing is that, the answer is there, but in many cases we don't care to listen to our answer because either somebody else told us something different or we just don't want to.
Yeah.
So that's another practice.
But anyway, I'm really grateful that all of you came and joined us tonight. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing some of you. And Philomene, by the way, is one of the mediums in the course. We're very, very blessed and fortunate to have her. And
very blessed.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us in the journey, Philomene. It's truly an honor and a blessing to have you part of it. So much love to everybody.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, and if you've got any questions or concerns that pop up after this video, you can connect to me through my website, WilliamMichaelForbesCoaching.com, and you can send me a message directly from there, and I'll get it, and I'll answer your question as best I can. And we look forward to seeing you.
Awesome. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.